Welcome back to Twilight Tales. You know the drill. Like, subscribe, and share this with someone who swears they don't get scared. Let's see if they're still cocky by the end of this one. This isn't your typical horror flick crap. This is the real stuff. The kind that makes you second guess closing your eyes. Let's get into it. It started with a dare. That's how a lot of bad stories start, isn't it? Kayla was the kind of girl who thought nothing could touch her. Mid-20s, inked up, sharp-tongued, worked night shifts at the trauma unit like it was a walk in the park. She'd seen everything. Bodies torn in half, people with no faces still breathing, even a guy who walked into the ER with a butcher knife sticking out of his chest like a trophy. Nothing scared her. At least, that's what she told herself. One night during a slow shift, a nurse named Eli brought up this Reddit thread, some deep dive into urban legends and internet folklore. Nothing new. But this one post caught Kayla's eye. It read, "Don't sleep, don't dream, or he'll come." There was no picture. Just a few lines like a messed up poem. He walks where you sleep. He talks when you scream. You beg to wake up, but it's not a dream. Ellie laughed it off, but Kayla rolled her eyes. "Please," she said, "that sounds like some third-rate Freddy Krueger ripoff." He shrugged. "People say if you dream about him, you die in real life. Not like eventually, like that night. They find you in bed with your eyes open and your mouth still gasping." She snorted. "So what, he kills you in your sleep like some edgy Creepypasta Slenderman knockoff?" Eli nodded, dead serious. "Exactly that. But it's always the same pattern. Starts with a whisper in your dream. Then, the door creaks open. He's wearing this mask, not like a Halloween mask, more like someone stitched skin together and made a face out of it. He doesn't run, doesn't scream, just stands there, then walks toward you. If you don't wake up before he touches you, you don't wake up at all." "Nice bedtime story," she said, waving him off. But that night, she couldn't sleep. She tossed and turned until 4 a.m., then finally passed out. She didn't remember dreaming, but when she woke up, there was a sound creak from the hallway. Her apartment was dead silent. No open windows, no pets, no roommates. Just her. She froze. The next day, she laughed it off again. Sleep paralysis, maybe. Auditory hallucination. She was a nurse. She knew how stress and fatigue mess with your head, but then it happened again. And again until one night she dreamed she was in her apartment. But it wasn't quite right. Everything was heavier, dimmer. Like the air had weight and colors didn't behave. She tried to move, but her legs were slow, like they were underwater. Then she heard it, the whisper right behind her ear, "Kayla." She spun around. No one there. Then the door creaked open. He stood in the hallway, 7 feet tall, body wrapped in some kind of decaying overcoat, like it had come from a grave. His mask, God, that mask, and it looked human, like it had once been part of someone. Maybe several someones, sewn with rusty thread, eye holes too small, mouth too wide. He didn't move, just stared. She tried to wake up, slapped herself, screamed, bit her own arm. Nothing worked, and then he took one step toward her. She bolted upright, in bed, drenched in sweat, gasping for air like she'd been drowning. That should have been the end of it. But it wasn't. The next night, she didn't sleep. The night after, she passed out from exhaustion. He came again, and this time, he spoke. "You dream, you die." She tried to tell Eli, but he was gone. Just stopped showing up to work. She figured he got sick of the night shift, until they found him in his apartment, dead, no sign of trauma. But the coroner noted his face was stuck in a look of pure terror. Eyes wide, mouth open, like he'd seen hell. Then more people started, dying. Everyone who joked about the dream. Everyone who dared each other to try it. It wasn't just Kayla now. She tried everything. Caffeine, nootropics, amphetamines, even prescription wakefulness drugs she stole from the hospital. She stayed awake for 4 straight days. Started hallucinating during surgeries. Thought she saw him behind the OR window once. By day 5, her nose started bleeding. Her muscles cramped. Her body screamed for sleep, but she knew the second she closed her eyes he'd be waiting. On day 6, her body gave in. She slipped into sleep like a drowning victim slipping under the surface. No resistance in the dream. It was a hospital. Her hospital, but abandoned, rusted. Blood smeared on the walls, lights flickering like they were alive. She tried to run, but her legs wouldn't work. Then came the whisper, "Kayla," and the creaking. Door. He was closer now. Each time she dreamed, he got a little nearer, a little more real. She could see details now, how the mask wasn't sewn evenly, how fingers poked through torn gloves, black and moldy, how his breath sounded wet, like something rotting in a bag. She managed to wake up. Barely. But she knew she couldn't keep this up, so she hunted down the original Reddit post. Gone account deleted. No archives. Like it had never existed. Then she found a woman named Miriam, one of the few who had written about the dream and lived. He tracked her down to a psychiatric hospital in upstate New York. Miriam looked like a skeleton wrapped in skin, eyes sunken, skin pale as chalk. But she recognized Kayla instantly. "You saw him," she said. Kayla nodded. "He comes in layers," Miriam whispered. "Each dream he becomes more real, until he isn't just in your sleep anymore." "What does he want?" Miriam leaned in close. "He is the dream. And once you believe in him, he's real. He needs belief. That's the doorway. So if I stop dreaming, you can't, not forever. Eventually your body betrays you, and when it does, he'll be waiting. That's what he does. He waits." Kayla left with that haunting truth. She started trying lucid dreaming techniques, learned how to take control inside the dream. It worked. Once, she summoned fire and burned him, watched him scream, watched the mask melt. She woke up thinking she'd won. That night, he came again. Not in a dream. He was standing at the foot of her bed, awake, watching. Her heart stopped, not metaphorically, literally. She flatlined for 90 seconds before the medics revived her. Her Apple Watch called emergency services automatically. The ER was chaos. But to Kayla, one thing mattered. He had crossed over. No more boundaries. The dreams weren't just dreams now. They were invitations. She went dark. Quit her job. Cut contact with everyone. Moved to a remote cabin. Installed blackout curtains. Covered every reflective surface. Set up cameras, salt lines, crucifixes, everything she could think of. Didn't matter, he still came every night. Now when she sleeps, she wakes up with bruises, scratches, once a bloody fingerprint on her throat. Doctors say she's doing it to herself. She knows better. She's writing this now on a burner laptop while she still can, to warn you, because she saw his face, the real one. It's not a mask anymore. It's hers. So when you go to sleep tonight and you hear a whisper, when the door creaks open just a little too slowly, don't look, don't breathe, and whatever you do, don't dream. That's it for tonight's nightmare, freaks. You already know what to do, like subscribe and share this with someone cocky enough to say dreams aren't real. Let's see if they're still laughing when the door creaks open. This is Twilight Tales and you just stepped into hell. Sleep tight. If you dare.